What's the dumbest thing you've said to a girl while trying to impress her? Mine was back in 10th grade. I was talking to my crush and was scared I sounded boring to her. So in my head I kept thinking say something that makes you look more interesting. I panicked and told her I didn't support gay marriage. It's been 12 years since and I still cringe when I think about it. I don't know if trying to impress her, but I was talking to a girl about how I had recently recovered from Lyme disease. Then when I finished talking I asked, so what diseases do you have? I was at my best friend's birthday party, him and his cousins were being kinda dorky, I was too honesty, and I tried to hit on his cousin by saying boys, huh. She looked at me and just rolled her eyes. Not sure what I was going for by saying that, but hey, I was like 12. Was it hard learning the language? She moved to England for a while, we're in the US. I cracked my neck, she was surprised and then I told her watch this, proceeded to crack my back and accidentally farted mid-crack, dated for almost 6 months after that edit, a word. When I was a teenager, I was exchanging nudes with a girl I met off of MySpace. She was from Kentucky. Sent me a pussy pic. I thought this was clever, but I said something along the lines of I would love to eat that Kentucky fried pussy. She ghosted me after that. Still cringe about it today lol. You might not hear this often but I think you're hotter than your sister. Sex on weed is great. BTW ignores me. Hey, did you hear me? I sigh. Yeah, I heard you. Sex on weed is amazing. Turns back on me. Yeah, that still keeps me awake some nights. I told her I wasn't really a dog or a cat kinda guy, but more like a, prepare yourself for this one, reptile kinda guy. Yes, I said I was a reptile kinda guy. To impress her. I don't think she was impressed, but I did make her laugh. Told her I finally aced the intro to Little Wing. She handed me a guitar at a party a week later, so I bombed hard and then made a load of really weak excuses about not having the right guitar. When I was 18 my girlfriend told me about how her ex used to beat her. Me being stupid and macho I went to say I bet I could hit him harder than he hit you. Dumb I know, but it gets worse. I fumbled my words and accidentally said I bet I could hit you harder than he could. Still not only cringe at that but feel genuinely sorry for that girl. At that age going through an experience like that and opening up to someone about it, and they say that. She it. This one hurts to remember. In 6th grade there was a girl who was emo and I really wanted to impress her and show her I was edgy and different. So I, for some unknown reason, still don't know what went through my head to make me think this, decided it would be a good idea to tell her I liked My Little Pony, and that my favorite pony was Applejack. I didn't even care for the show, I literally just googled their names so I could try to impress her like it was sexy to like a children's show for little girls. I hate that I have to live with that fact for the rest of my days. In middle school I bought a nice new pair of Beats and wore them on the bus. I'd blast my music and rap the songs I was listening to just loud enough for the girls around me to hear, but I'd act like I was in my own world and had no idea they could hear me. No clue how, but I thought this made me look cool. It did not. We were having conversation and in an attempt of trying to be funny, I told her I have man boobs. I don't know why I thought that would be funny. She was like, okay, too much information. I was like 13 at the time, and I told a hot, when I was 13, 16-year-old that she'd make a great mom. Like what? Am I an idiot? LOL. Wasn't anything I said, but about 6 years ago I tried to act like I had a huge dick in front of this sexy girl, thought she'd like me if she knew I had a massive penis LOL. So I scratched my balls really low down to make it look like it was bigger. I was once getting drinks with a woman and some dude starting aggressively yelling at his wife by us. I stood up and broke it up and got security, the whole savior deal. I returned to the bar and the woman I was with said that was scary. I had just looked at my Fitbit. Turned to the woman and said my heart rate stayed at 61, cool as a cucumber. It was just an older female client I was with. Not hitting on her, but my response made me think of the douchebag jar for sure. Has anyone told you you're beautiful today? She said no, and I replied, well, there's always another day. I was trying to impress her by my humor, but she took it seriously. I have a good one. I was at a bar one night hitting it off with this girl. She casually brought up that she had kids, but I didn't quite hear her. So I said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." Then what she said finally clicked in my brain, and before I could say sorry, I misunderstood. I got slapped. Oops. I think being with you makes me really stupid. What? Why? Because all the blood in my body is being diverted from my brain to my dick, haha. I was 16, give me a break. My sister, Mickey, told me that one of her friends was super cool and adventurous and we'd make great friends. So thinking I'd be direct and confident, I used my sister's phone to message this friend and said, "Oi, it's Mickey's brother, we should be friends." Before I started dating my girlfriend, I would always see her in the morning at university. We would sit and talk for a while before our classes began. Now I thought I would tell her a stupid story about myself to try and make her laugh. I thought, what would be better than something embarrassing? Sounds good, right? Well, for some reason I decided to tell her about a new medication I was on and how when I had initially started taking it, it gave me uncontrollable erections all throughout the morning. As weird and cringy as it was, it seemed to work as we're still dating, and she didn't tell me to go away after that story. But seriously y'all, don't tell stories about your penis to impress a girl, even if it is something weirdly embarrassing like this. You're not like other girls. Haha, that is a bad one. Add in a "you're sharp enough to keep up with me" to make it worse. Where in the US are you from? Canada. Bye. Not to the girl, but around her to impress her. When I was a freshman in college, me and a couple of my friends including my crush were leaving a dollar store. A guy on the way out said, "Damn, that blonde one is cute." My friends were used to it and ignored him. But, me being a towhead/comedian, I turn around and gestured like he is talking about me. He didn't take that very well. Apparently it is impossible to not look aggressive when trying to act like you want to fuck a man in a parking lot. We ended up yelling at each other, me trying to clarify it was a joke, and him threatening violence. Moral of the story, try that, because we ended up dating for 3 years. I approached a girl in a pub once and she said, "You are the first guy to not use a boring pickup line on me," so I tried to impress her by using a lame pickup line. I never use M, but I thought it'll be funny. I said something along the lines of, "Hey girl, if you were a fruit you'd be a fine apple." It worked, but I'm still very confused as of how. Told her I was in a cover band in my 30s and occasionally opened up for headliners in a nearby stadium. She sensed it was BS right away. Didn't work, making me seem cooler. I've since learned to just not lie. Either she does or doesn't like you. There's nothing you can say to make her like you more. You are enough the way you are. I bragged to a girl on a dating website that a friend, not even me, went semi-professional in League of Legends. We've been together for almost 2 years. 16 male, at the time. My friend's sister was a babe, and while everyone knew her, I'd never met her. I was at their house one afternoon and she'd come into my friend's room, so I was introduced. She said, "Nice to meet you," and I gave the trigger finger, and likewise. Likewise became a standard response to any statement I made for the next few years. Not sure if this counts, but here goes. Had a crush on this one girl I would hang out with every once in a while. Just before she graduated, meaning that she would leave and I would never see her again, she came out to me. I was kind of taken aback, since that meant that my chances with her had basically vanished, so when she then asked me if I was gay, I couldn't help but nod. It is worth noting that I didn't really talk to girls much, since I was and still am very shy, so it was a perfectly reasonable question on her behalf. I then snapped out of it and told her that I wasn't gay. Luckily she attributed my reaction to genuine surprise and didn't realize that I went weird because my hopes and dreams of the past year had essentially crumbled. We're still good friends and are occasionally in touch. She never found out I had a crush on her. This was many years ago, either my senior year of college or the summer right after. I was at a party, quite drunk and talking to a very pretty African American girl. She was a bit drunk but not as bad as me. We were discussing stereotypes and how difficult it was for her growing up in upper middle class area as the only black family, and how they often felt unwelcome in their own town, and when they moved to an area that was more diverse they were not made to feel particularly welcome there either. I said something like, "You think that's bad? I grew up in a small conservative town and had long hair. It was 30ish years ago and the idiocy of my comments still haunts me.